That sedative should have lasted for at least
She can get out of them at any time, that's the thing. Just pretending.
What the hell is going... There it goes. There it goes. Isn't it? It says live, and then it just stops saying live.
I think it's live. Looks live on mine.
Looks live to me. I don't know.
Sorry,
oh my god,
everybody.
I can see it too.
No idea how that happened. I even tried streaming it on my channel, and it wouldn't stream. Sorry about that. So in lieu of crashing it again, possibly we won't go in. We won't do the intro. We're just welcome to Into the Portal and EverQuest Next Discussion. Here we are.
Now you
Hello,
can say
everybody.
welcome back.
Welcome back.
There. Okay.
All right. So, if you would like to leave a question, please put it in brackets. Brackets. It must be cold at Trendane's house. How cold is it, Trendane? What are you, like 72, maybe 70?
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's about 72 degrees
72,
Celsius
yeah.
here.
Celsius, yeah, that's a little hot. Right now outside it is -4 Fahrenheit. Whatever that is, -20 below in Celsius or something.
What's a Fahrenheit?
Okay, back to the subject at hand. Tobran did shave his face,
Don't.
Yeah.
and we're all sad. We're saddened by this. We were rooting for him. We were sending him positive beard energy.
Just so itchy.
It is
Get
not
over
itchy.
it. Yes, it was.
Once it gets out long enough, you
It was
put a little bit
horrible.
of beard oil in it. It softens it up. It's like a baby's ass with hair.
Not that he's saying that you
No.
want a baby's ass on your face. Okay,
Yeah,
this-
I was
this-
gonna say
Give it
that doesn't sound quite right, and I don't know why you would know about that sort of thing. But
Ooh.
I would say though, I really liked the look he had, starting to get the hair going, and I was kind of hoping you'd actually keep it going, and maybe by the thing on the 31st, it actually looked more substantial. But
We're
no,
rooting
right?
for you, Tobran.
You could
We are
have
rooting
at
for
least
you.
made it look like Omeed's facial hair. Not even as doesn't have to be as long or as dark. Just having that same thing and rocking that for the one day. But
I'll tell you what, right?
no,
Between now and SOE Live, I won't shave.
It won't
Alright.
matter. That's
Playoff beard.
it's not. It's just
Play
gonna be like
off
3
beard.
little hairs coming out at that point. It's just,
Oh my
No.
god! And then at SOE
Let's see
Live,
it.
we can dress you up like Omeed and tell him that you're his son.
yes. His illegitimate Scottish son.
That's what we'll do. It'll
The
totally
ideas
work.
you guys come up with, my god.
speaking
Yeah,
of
let's
which,
do that. Okay, and Telendril says in the chat that we should do a fundraiser to get Tobran a beard. I don't know how much money we threw at it would actually make it work, but maybe we could do a charity thing. If Tobran can grow his beard out at least 3 inches long, we'll donate something to somebody.
It looked horrible.
a beard marathon.
A beard marathon.
Interesting. We'll have to use centimeters.
It's like we're a cult or something. It's like,
Yeah, why are we all? Yeah, we are bearded.
It's just like a poor guy that's been sucked
In the
into
middle of
the-
your ring of beards.
Trending, you look kind of bored.
He's stressed right now.
Uh,
It's too cold for him. And
right.
did you bite your tongue?
I am biting my tongue.
All right. Well, then maybe we should start moving on to the first topic.
Well, I don't know about that. We had
I don't
lots of
know.
stuff.
Are we
to
gonna
talk-
keep
So it's gonna be a
attacking the
long
beard?
show tonight. We should have lots of stuff to talk about. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, you can use Rogaine on your face. Lock 7 times. Breaking
Yeah.
into the portal is now named Into the Beard.
Into the beard.
Okay. we're striking some buttons with Trendane. Okay, let's talk about the roundtable stuff.
Yay!
Okay, so first off, let's see. What do we have it over here? New roundtable question was: should you have one character have all of the crafting, or should you be relegated to only having maybe 1 or 2 crafting abilities on one character? So, what do you guys think of this?
I have an answer that kind of covers 2 different ways the game could go. if the skill is infinite and there is no limit to it by which someone can progress, they will automatically be lesser than other people if they branch out and do different disciplines. And they've got 700 points in weaponsmithing and armor smithing, while somebody else has got 1,400 points in weaponsmithing. So that's one place where it would definitely matter. And if there is a finite limit, then the idea that somebody who has achieved the highest level of mastery in something can't learn something else is just ridiculous. Somebody who's achieved the highest level of mastery in something has not only the discipline, but all sorts of various ancillary knowledge that will help them learn other things much quicker and be able to understand them in ways that other people might not be able to understand them nearly as quickly. So being, at the top of something shouldn't limit somebody to, that one style, but should then open doors to learn other things.
Sounds good. I mean, World of Warcraft, you can only do 2 primary professions.
I hated that. I had
Me
to have
too.
two. I had to have two characters just to be able to get all of the engineering schematics, and I did it.
But do you not see the beauty of that system in a way? Here's the beauty. If you're talking about a subscription-based model, do you not want to have people making more than one character to get it to max level because you want them to be able to craft? And
Well, the time sink would be the same if they just had it on their main character, though, wouldn't it? They'd spend the same amount of time leveling it up.
That's true, yeah.
But they could also be, leveling up many things from. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but leveling many things from the start, so you can do 10 things from the beginning, do all the crafting and the collecting rather from the start, rather than being a level 60, going back and starting from 1 to get to 300.
I do like to be self-reliant. It is nice.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, obviously, the idea of having the limited crafting system, so you can only have 1 or 2 crafting professions, disciplines, whatever you want to call it. It's because they want people to interact, isn't it? It's because they want people to talk to each other and need each other for different things. But because there's a way around it because it's more efficient for a player to do it themselves, then people just don't do that. It's the old path of least resistance thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, for all the designers' best intentions of trying to get us to talk to each other, if there's a more efficient way of going about it, I really like what Ray said about having it as a kind of infinite skill thing. Although if you look at Eve, like Eve has a similar sort of system, but it's a very sort of flat power curve. Mm-hmm. So someone who's at a very high level isn't actually that much better than someone who's at a much lower curve. But you sort of end up in this position of diminishing returns, where for the amount of time that you're investing in something, you're actually gaining very little power in it compared to, you could start back at something else at the beginning and learn those lower levels, and it'd be really, really quick. So, you can get to a certain level of competency in something, but then to get any further than that is like a serious time investment that comes at the cost of time that you could invest in something else. So I think, talk about Eve a lot. It's a sandbox game, but I think that kind of diminishing returns thing could be a good system.
The difference, I think, there is the fact that with Eve, you don't have to be in the game to get better at what you're doing. You just throw it into your skills queue, click apply, and you log out, and your character gradually learns. You don't have it's not through repetition, right? But I mean, there would never be. I can't see anything like that ever going into EverQuest Next. Or Landmark.
I agree. Man, I was just saying about the idea of diminishing returns, the idea of sooner or later you get to that kind of plateau point where you're still doing things in the same way, but you're just not improving as much as you would.
No, I agree, because I was thinking of Eve too while you were right before you brought it up. I was like, well, what about Eve? No, wait.
Yeah. We've been together so long.
Same wavelength and everything.
Does Fu know that?
Long distance relationships don't work.
Yes, they do.
Not that far away.
If you write as well as I do, they work.
Very nice.
They work.
Everyone, I guess, is planning on bailing in 45 minutes, so we'll have the Ask My Anus Anything
No.
Oh, it's a countdown timer. I should put it on the screen.
No, because then anybody who watches this on YouTube later and sees Ask My Anus anything at a countdown time, they're not going to know what the hell that's all about.
Yeah, you're probably right. Okay,
That
we'll
is,
skip that.
it's going to be horrific to anybody who's like, oh my God, what are they doing? What is that giant black box in the... I was going to say black hole, and I thought, no, don't say that.
It's a box.
And I did it anyway, but yeah.
No.
Oh, Palace 8 says Trendane Morrowind mod for Skyrim is looking for 30 volunteer voice actors.
Oh, yes, I know. I've already got the lines on my desktop.
Oh, there you
For
go.
like six
Nice.
different Khajiit, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yes, it would. 'cause
Interesting point as well. Effort should equal reward. Forget the Eve concept.
But is it really effort? I mean, you're sitting here going click, 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 click.
Well, I
click, click.
personally, I think that success should equal reward, rather than just
No, because...
no.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of different factors to it that I feel they could incorporate so that everything you craft is meaningful, and you don't, it's not clicking and grinding, but every time you make something, someone is going to find some value in it one way or another. Going back to my item history and composition document, if you're a good crafter but you're still working in copper, some lower level crafter can look at the design, the balance, and everything of the way that you designed that sword, break it down, check everything out, and be able to gain skill from your item by basically destroying it and looking at all of its parts. So that would be a way for somebody who's higher level to make things and then kind of put them in a bin for their buddies and be compensated by platinum or raw materials or whatever.
Mm-hmm. What's the matter, Trending?
I was just about to mention something, but I can't.
Oh.
Oh,
No,
the beta that's coming up real soon, or alpha is coming up soon for.
No, not that.
Oh.
It's an NDA. for
Something
something
beginning.
else.
Oh.
But to address what that stranger guy up there was talking about,
Tobran? Yeah, he's pretty strange.
no, stranger than that.
Oh, okay.
The guy who's drinking uranium right now.
Let's see the uranium bottle while he was talking.
Yeah.
The Polish uranium. I don't know why I went with that accent for Polish.
Polish Mountain Dew. One of the many perks of living in an area of high cultural diversity.
Is I would argue that we learn more from our failures than our successes. So basing skill advancement solely on successful completion of something, for that reason, I wouldn't necessarily agree in its entirety.
Maybe call, yeah.
Yeah, I agree
The more
with
you
that.
fail, the better you get.
No, no. But okay, let's
It's an
use Vanguard's crafting for an example.
Let's-
There are a lot of times
Moment of
where
silence for Vanguard.
don't. Oh. And
Okay, that's
Tobran's
enough.
beard. We'll just lump them together.
Yes.
Oh God, that is so depressing. And by the way, since we mentioned last week the crafting system in EverQuest 2, I did remember it after the fact. I was like, 2 days later, I was asleep and I snapped awake. I was like, right, they had the little blue icons with like simmer and boil over. I remember that now. Okay. And I was back out again. But I woke up just long enough to remember. Anyway. Yeah. But there was, a lot of times when you were dealing with complications and, rectifying those, you would learn, your skills would advance more from canceling those out, materials processing or whatever skill you were learning. It was your mistakes that taught you more than successfully completing, something anyway. So that's why it came to mind.
Sounds good. All right. What's the other thing we have here on the round table? Oh, the response for large races. So, forget about everything else that happened in the video. Nobody cares about that. We have, from that video, we now have this.
Why must there be a delay? See it.
You know how many times we watched this before the show started?
I've seen it enough times. I don't need to see it live to know what's going on.
So the face came from when it was Dexella, right? Or no, it was Rosie.
Rosie is that
when
one,
Rosie said that basically they have to do the models fully nude, Iskar, and then he went and looked at the camera like that.
Well, yeah, he was saying character creation. The characters are don't have any clothes on, I believe is how she worded it. Not that they'd be nude, but they don't have any aesthetic clothes. And immediately that turn and look that he gives. And I had to do a double take when I watched the video. I went back. It's like, now wait a minute. Did he really make that funny face? It's like, oh yes, he did.
So before you think that Omeed hates this whole thing because he made the face, this animated GIF has gone around the Sony headquarters, and pretty much everybody has it as their wallpaper on their computer.
Within 2 hours,
this is what you
made
wanted
it around
to
the
happen.
office.
Yeah.
So you're just playing into his hands. That's all that's happening.
If you want to take this a step further,
Yes.
if you watch the first seconds of the video before they get into any of this, right after the whole title sequence is done and he's doing his announcement, if you watch, he is very clearly bothered by his wedding ring, and he keeps messing with it.
I think it's a nervous thing.
I've never seen him do it before.
Oh.
Not that I'm obsessing about his wedding ring or anything, but just saying I've never seen him do that before, and I just notice people's body language like that. I have never seen him do that on camera before.
So what's the body language with the face there? What is that?
Well, there was a tweet that explained it rather well, but it was kind of lewd, and I don't want to do that to the creating of the show.
So anyway, it's turned into a meme. It's everywhere. This was on Reddit. I've seen it on.
It's an Omeem.
It's an Omeem. Oh my god, that should be an Omeem. It's an Omeemception. So Pac-Man says turn it off. Everyone else says leave it on the entire show. So we'll leave it up for a little while. Okay, so moving on to our actual next topic, the claims. So if you guys want to talk about the claims, I'm going to show the video in the background. We can talk about it, but we can give everybody a rest from the lizards.
Yes, because they are so exhausting.
It's the claims look like they're enough space to do a decent amount of work. Of course, 70 by 70 by 100. That's not a permanent number. I expect it to flex and shift during the course of the alpha, possibly numerous times, in order to accommodate players being able to do all sorts of stuff. They did say it's on a grid. You can't rotate it. You can, kind of freely, smoothly move it around, but it's going to be that square shape on a grid, no matter where you place it. So, if you want to get something really cool at an angle for, special lighting effects or whatever, you're going to have to probably get, 2 to 4 claims to be able to span it across.
It looks small at times, but remember, everybody, you can link multiple claims. You can get more flags. So you could get the next 2 or 3 around you or 4 around you.
Doesn't look small when you stand in it.
Yeah.
It doesn't look small when you see the size of the stuff they built in it. Like, look at that. You got a whole garden on top of a tower there.
Yeah.
It's huge.
70 meters on the side. If you think, how many buildings are 70 meters longer? I know a lot of people have got plans for whole cityscapes and everything, but that'll come. They want us to be able to do that, and there'll be all sorts of ways to link claims together and give people different permissions through friends and guilds and everything. So, we will see larger areas. I'm absolutely sure.
I love the fact that
it's a progression thing as well, isn't it? It's like
this is
those
just your
people
starter
that,
thing.
I am the first one that's got 4 claims to put together, and I can keep the upkeep on all of them, and look how fancy I am. So it's progression, it's prestige. It's something to work towards. It's the kind of gamification aspect of the creativity tool. I think it's got a lot of positives.
I just like when you run into a person's claim, it tells you what claim they're on. And it had a little thing that says welcome. I'd like to be able to change that to be like, F off. Get out of my box. Get
Well,
out of my box.
that's another thing they said, wasn't it? You can make people invisible on your claim,
Oh,
so you can't see them. You can't see them when they're on there, which is a nice little anti-griefing feature.
it is a beautiful looking
Especially
game,
so
isn't it?
that way, when you're building, they can't stand somewhere and keep you from placing something.
Yeah, it's like not even can they not affect what you're doing. Like they can't even like you wouldn't even know they were there. Just would be like them shouting at the TV.
Yeah, that's actually get off my lawn. Yeah, for us old people,
Yeah.
get off my lawn, kids.
You old people.
I like the interface too. That's the first time we actually got to see what the interface looks like.
Yeah, it looks nice, doesn't it? I quite like all the UI stuff because it's like a little bit fantasy, but then it's not
A little bit of rock and roll.
entirely.
A little bit rock and roll.
A little bit.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's quite good. I like all the menus and stuff as well from the crafting video that we'll be talking about later. I think it's got a good look. It's got a very strong kind of look to it without being too heavily rooted in any particular genre.
I just realized that the reason they're showing this second one is because he built it up in the air already. So he put the claim down on top of a mountain, and so it's 100 meters above that. I think that's why they're trying to show it. So if people were asking how far up you could go or come down.
Yeah,
Kind of addressing our question from last week.
Yeah,
Kind of.
might be why he did it that way, or why they did that way.
Yeah.
Presuming this wasn't recorded before that and we were just psychic in asking our questions.
We could be.
That could definitely happen.
Top Gear says very functional UI, easy to use, but full of options. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
EQN's
Sounds
gonna be
good.
life changing. That's what Pac-Man just said. Okay. Back to the show.
We're on a show?
We're on again. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I didn't realize we have all these viewers tonight. Wow, a lot of people here. They're all gonna bail though in about.
Whoa, 108 people? Nice.
They're all gonna
What?
bail soon.
They heard I was coming back, obviously.
Yeah, when Smedley
always
is
about
done
you.
telling you that Alpha starts in 3 hours, I want you all to come back, please, because we want to talk about that. All right. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is the crafting. Now, this video is more of him just explaining it, so I'm going to try to skip around and get to the parts where they're actually talking about the crafting. But you guys all saw it, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
There's 3 types of items basically that he kind of describes, and one of them I'm not as happy about.
Which is?
So you can make static consumable items like your potions and foods and stuff. You can make modular but kind of static aesthetic items, which means they're the shapes and the patterns are not going to change, but you can change the coloration and maybe some of the texturing that's on them. So that's cool, because then people can just craft whatever outfits and make neat stuff for their buddies, which is neat. And then the other thing is the stat items are actually going to be, those are the ones that are going to have a lot more weird, fun stuff going into them. There's things called an altar that you can build stuff
I'm
at.
showing that on the screen right now while you're talking about it.
And that one's pretty cool. Basically, the altar, when somebody hits it, it has a timer. It pings everyone in the area that there's an altar. You can craft better things. You can craft things that can only be crafted there and get attributes and stuff that you can only have access to at one of those. And then there's one other thing, and I don't believe this is necessarily required for altars, but they said there's relics. Relics are basically things that you find in the world, and I believe you have to do some process to complete them and get them functional. And once you have them at that point, you can use them for crafting to add specific attributes to items.
There's one thing you didn't mention though, is that the altars will disappear.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's when the timer expires, the altar's gone. And
I love that.
Yeah, that is awesome. So basically, crafters have to, have some way to be able to get their materials and get the hell over there, or bring materials with them and try not to die, or whatever.
What do you guys think of the biker guys with the handlebar mustaches that they were using for the model?
Oh, yeah.
That was funny.
Brilliant.
The one thing I was going to say, though, the static consumables, no, I wanted that brewing system. I wanted to be able to have, like, crazy dynamic brewing and stuff, making potions and alcohols and things that dissolve things when you throw it at them and the glass shatters. Various different stuff like that. But if the consumables are going to be kind of static items, it doesn't seem like it would be able to support that kind of complexity unless brewing is for some reason done differently than food and everything else.
I'm showing it right now. The crafting UI looks really nice. Like they're showing the aquamarine pickaxe, and you just add and drag things in to give it the boosts and the bonuses.
Yeah.
It might take a second for you guys to catch up to where the stream is.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, those are the relics, the things that are going in at the moment that augment the stats. Because statted items are procedurally generated, obviously, and then there's the relics that are attached to that then alter those stats and alter the effects further. So that's the idea. It's like the most desirable stuff is going to be quite sort of heavily customized, and those relics have to be either crafted or found in the world as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like there's. I mean, one of the first things that he mentions is they want it to be simple enough for new players to kind of wade into, but then they want that depth there at the back end as well. And there were a few things that I picked up on the video actually that I did really like. That's one of the idea. The idea they're focusing on depth instead of complexity. The fact that numbers on items and quality is procedurally generated means there's going to be infinite within the space variety of different things. There could be the whole spectrum of numbers and qualities available, will exist in the game. So it's kind of up to you to find the one that fits you. And I think that's really interesting that, there's a lot of potential depth there because the possibility space is just so huge for it. Then again, he said about the crafting stations, that's going to be in kind of central player hub areas, which I think is nice because it's a reason for players to be in the same place. Because that was something that I was wondering about with Landmark, what's, apart from running around by yourself and being on your claim by yourself, what is the incentives for players to be in the same space? So having that kind of social area is good. What else as well? But yeah, the altars is great because it rewards exploration, which is a different play style within a game that is mostly about crafting. So, obviously there'll be people that enjoy both, but for people that enjoy adventuring and getting out into the world more, there's something for them to actively do that has value for everyone in the game, not just for themselves. And it's genuine exploration as well, because those altars, just ping up randomly, so it could be anywhere. And there will always be a demand in the community for players that are out there actively looking for them. And then the knowledge of that becomes a commodity. So explorer types have a lot to look forward to, I think.
So
that's I was thinking, as opposed to the specific things he was saying, because obviously it's incredibly high level at the moment, so we can't know exactly how it's going to work. But I think the general kind of design goals that he was talking about, I was personally really pleased with.
Looks like they're going back to the old con system here too. They got white, green is a rare, not a rare, but like a common item is white. Green is like uncommon. Blue is like rare, and then they got the epic, which is like an orangish red color.
I have an issue with the aquamarine pickaxe.
Do you now?
Yes, I do.
What's up with the bit? What is it?
There's no aquamarine in that list that's required to make it.
Let's ask Felgon. He's the one who made it.
And it says that it's sweet. I know it's placeholder text, but it says it's sweet. It's not made of anything even remotely sugary. There's no stevia leaves in it. I don't understand. It can't be sweet. Unless it's made out of antifreeze or something.
Hey Felgon, could you just tell us what Smedley's supposed to say tonight so everyone won't leave the show?
Come on, Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
What possible reason could you have for holding back?
None at all. He just might want to keep his job. I don't know.
There isn't.
So overrated.
So Felgon says the tooltip mock-ups are mock-ups. So stop picking on him for saying that it's sweet. Just stop, he says. All right. So there's the crafting. Moving on. They had the Year of EverQuest video. You guys watch that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I never changed the topic. What'd you think?
Cool.
Yeah.
Like I hate to admit, but the first two EverQuests I didn't really spend as much time in. So the fact that they're getting more content and upgrades and another facelift or whatever, it's cool. Give me next though. Like
yeah.
I'm moving on.
But there's still a lot of people who play those games.
Yeah, and it's awesome for them. I really think that's cool for them in a big way.
I think it's a great achievement, for the company and for all the teams working on those games. I think it should be something that they should be very proud of. The fact that the games are active and have player populations and they're still moving on. How many MMOs are there out there that are there's gonna be 4 EverQuest MMOs. Mm-hmm. What other franchise can say that they've got that much going on? I bet not many. So yeah, I mean, I don't recall any new information for Landmark coming out of that though.
So the rule, I guess everyone's going to stay watching the show with us as long as Tobran reads off the tweets that come from Smed.
Okay.
Fair enough. Hey, everybody, make sure you're asking questions, everybody. Questions in brackets because we will get to them here in a little bit. So we need questions.
We just about guarantee that we will answer your question.
Pretty much all of them, unlike some other people.
Like who?
So,
who's the other person?
The other person?
The guy who's doing the Ask Me Almost Anything?
Oh, Smedley might not answer him. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I want the very first one to be, when does Alpha start?
Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah. I'm sure someone's already making threads like, Smedley, when's Alpha start?
I've already got it in that paste buffer.
I guess everyone still loves this little loop here, so we'll just leave it up. All right.
It's pretty good.
The Prison of Fire story. Any of you? I didn't get a chance to read that. Any of you guys read it yet?
Yeah.
Can you tell a little bit about it?
Yeah, it talks about a little bit of a precursor to one event that happens that's, all the books are kind of leading up to or are in the progress of dealing with. And it also has one of the other major events from one of the stories and its impact on the characters in the region in this story. But to go into any more detail would be spoiling things, so you gotta read it and the other stuff to figure out what the hell I'm talking about.
Cool. Some people are saying it was a good story, so...
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was pretty well done.
It's had very positive reviews all around. I think people are saying it's a good one.
People aren't going to read that thing. They're too lazy.
You think?
I know. I know they are. A few people will read it because they're not lazy.
I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
If Smedley comes on and says Alpha starts next Monday, okay, and you guys are flying all the way out to California to go to the event, do you feel ripped off now that you could just stay home and play it from home instead of going all the way to California?
Who's you guys?
Well, Tobran is flying.
I was going to say,
I'm driving.
The two of us that are in California already.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
I'm staying this side of the Atlantic, so okay. No, I mean the community thing. That's a huge event, isn't it? That's you can sit and play Landmark, for years to come. But there's only so many times you can go and.
Oh, if I could go, I would go.
Be part of that experience at that time. I think it's it's brilliant. I can't go. I'm sad I can't go, but I got stuff to do.
You'll get to meet Omeed soon enough when you're in Vegas getting married.
Right there with you, Locke. Right there with you.
Oh, you're going to go to Locke's wedding?
No.
Yeah.
No, that would be a day of mourning for me.
Another one's lost.
Yeah, okay, man.
Yeah, no, the entire team.
We'll always have.
Go ahead.
We'll always have what?
Best don't.
We'll always have Paul.
That's why I did. No, just.
You're pointing at Omeed and he's nodding.
I'm not pointing at Omeed. I'm not.
Anyway.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so I absolutely don't have any regrets about, planning to go to the event, going and hanging out with the team and the other fans that are going to be there, eating pizza and drinking beer on SOE's dime and, all of that fun stuff, playing for 20 or 30 minutes, getting a tour of the office. And I'm guessing it's going to be the new location that they've moved to, which was the old PlanetSide 2 location. So it's going to be a tour of a place I've already been, but with different, features and people in it. So awesome. That should be a lot of fun. The one for PlanetSide 2 was a lot of fun as well. That was the June or whatever before it launched. So that was just a lot of fun on its own. Plus, I got a bunch of stuff that I want to get signed. 3 of those PC gamers and 2 of them already spoken for.
Get that Nagafin hat signed.
No, actually, I've got the SOE Live poster I'm going to have signed by the team as well, and the magazine and the poster I'm going to have them both framed, put up on the wall with the other swag.
Nice.
And a PlanetSide 2 poster that I have, a magazine rather, from last year. Still haven't claimed it yet. So, yeah, bunch of good stuff. Have a lot of fun, and possibly there might be something going on Saturday as well.
Party at Omeed's house.
Right, you're meant to be quiet about that. Shush. Be shushed.
Party at Omeed's house.
Party at Omeed's house.
All right. I guess it's time for Q&A time.
Yeah.
There was actually that one other thing.
Did I miss something?
It's a discussion on data miners. I asked some questions to Dave Georgeson and Omeed Dariani about data mining. I didn't realize that it had been a problem in the past, that people were, not just the kind of data mining where you can get all the odds of things dropping off of creatures, but the more intense stuff where you're actually looking at this stuff in the server, live creatures, and being able to see, that creature there, it's got, some valuable item. I'm going to bypass all the other creatures, just kill that one, get the awesome loot. Not only does that suck because you're stealing all the good loot from everybody else because they don't have a chance of getting it, but, really creating that sort of unfair advantage, it breaks the spirit of the game. So they said that all sorts of those data mining efforts, both revealing events and quests and stuff early before they should actually be revealed, as well as revealing like drop rates and that sort of stuff. They're already planning against that sort of thing and being able to counter it.
That was something I mentioned in one of my earlier EverQuest Next videos before I started doing the podcast and everything, was that they said they don't want people using outside websites to find data. So I think they're going to try to obfuscate that as best they can. Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome. I really like that. And I have an idea in my head of how some of the systems will work to make that happen. So I'm really excited about, seeing how it's actually implemented, how it actually goes down.
Yep. Okay.
Before we go to Q&A.
Yeah. What's up?
I saw a video earlier this morning, which made me think, I don't know how many people have seen the videos and the announcements and stuff about World of Warcraft updating their character models. But they are starting to look more and more and more like EverQuest Next models.
Yeah. It's funny.
And I'm like, I wonder where they got this. Like, yeah.
Considering that Warlords of Draenei is coming out about the same time that EQN's probably coming out. Maybe not EQN. We don't know when EQN's coming out, but Warlords of Draenei is coming out this year some point. which is when they're going to do all the character models. And a lot of the things that are sort of intuitively built into EverQuest Next is going to be in Warlords of Draenei. So not just the models, they're doing a whole bunch of UI changes and things.
I cannot believe that Blizzard are taking something that's, proving popular with another game and putting it into World of Warcraft. After all this time of being completely original. No, I think with the character models, it's probably been planned for a long time. It's had loads of graphic updates already.
I bitched about it when they started doing the Druid models. When they put the new Druid models in the game, I said
the thing is, they have to. There's a reason that game's nearly 10 years old, and they've still got nearly 8 million. Yeah. They've still got like 8 million people paying for it every month.
Mm-hmm.
And when the new expansion comes out, that'll go up again. You know what I mean? So
I'm probably going to play it again because
they put in these fluff things. The updated character models, I guarantee, will draw so many people back, even if it's just for the 1 month to see to see their old character and look at them, or get that free redesign or whatever and play with the new designer. They'll get a ton of people in for that. And I think as far as the similarities, I think that Sony and Blizzard sort of encountered the same question, the same design problem when they were making the games, and I think they came to a similar solution to the problem. There's only so many different ways that you can go. I will say that one advantage that Next will definitely have is the animation. That's something the last few weeks, especially with the Chomper video, and even with the crafting bench.
I saw it shaking and stuff.
Bench, the animations that they've got going on, I think are absolutely brilliant.
It's very WoW-like though.
In MMO space.
Don't
you compare
think?
that even to the animation quality of current MMOs, it's an amazing achievement.
Yes, it is on.
Oh.
Speaking of the actually, Domo, you were going to say something. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that the shakiness and all that kind of stuff looked very WoW to me.
The
off-balance things.
Mm-hmm. But it's that kind of larger than life thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
The saw, the woodworking thing is what you're talking about. That thing almost made me not want to do it. That thing looks dangerous. No, I'm not getting anywhere near that thing. I'm not doing woodworking because that thing. Look, as soon as what's his name? The male character.
Michael Mann.
Gregor.
Gregor.
See, no one remembers Gregor's name. No one.
Well, the girl's easy.
Yeah.
Whoa! Hey! Whoa!
Her name is easy to remember. It's Colette because it's Dexella.
That is easier because we know her. She's our friend. But this Gregor guy, whatever, Gregor. As soon as he walked up to it, and he stopped. I was like, no, don't get any closer to it. It's like it's gonna. You're gonna put a thing. You're gonna hit a knot while you're trying to plane a board, and it's just gonna pull you right into it. And it's gonna be Little Shop of Woodworking Horrors. Don't go near that thing.
So I'm terrible. I should have got this prepared. I didn't even get it. I should have. I'm sorry.
It'll keep. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that sometime between this time and next week. Wait, next week? No, because everybody's going to be gone except for you and that stranger dude over there, and you and I.
Yeah, we could do a 3-way.
Whoa. Show. Oh, thank you. Okay. All right.
Actually, that kind of segues into the next question, or the first question.
Well, there we go.
All right.
So, the first question is, will there be an Into the Portal next week due to the SOE event in California? I was wondering this as well. Tobran and I are hopefully going to be able to get a little time on the official SOE live stream that's going to be going all day long, if there is going to be one going all day long. So, we aren't going to be able to broadcast Into the Portal from there or, show clips of things from there. But
you're our man on the street. You guys had to come back with the...
Yeah, I'm the guy with the tripod. Tobran's got everything else.
Yeah.
Are you going to stream us your landmark face? Is that it?
Yes.
I'm showing the video now of the crafting table.
Nice.
I apologize. I didn't have it ready from before.
Yeah. Giant spinning blade. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, let me give you a list.
So, if an elephant comes over and kicks it, is that blade going to go spinning and, cut through a bunch of people?
Definitely.
It's going to go flying off, and
some poor Karen is going to come walking around the backside of that thing, and he's going to be reading his scroll. He's not going to pay attention. He's going to go face first into that saw that's hanging. That is an OSHA nightmare.
Oh, this is totally not OSHA safe. And I'm trying to figure out how you could even cut things on it, because there's not much of a bench platform there. You know, I do a lot of woodworking in real life, and you need a space to slide the wood on. But there's nothing there. It's like basically, I don't know. It looks dangerous. It doesn't look like it's really feasibly usable.
And there's that, what's it called? A gang saw, that floppy thing sitting out the side?
Yeah, it's dangerous
like
too.
That doesn't look very safe.
That's what I mean. Karen's going to come walking around that thing and just...
Off with his head.
I felt like I was right there in the game, and now you've just ruined it for me by pointing out.
Killed your immersion, did we?
I hope this is the tier 1 version. There's safer versions later on.
Yeah.
What kind of bench would you use to make magical pickaxes? Would it not be? Would it not be that shape?
I would, punch a tree and then stick a rock on it, and then that makes a magical pickaxe.
Yep. Step 1, punch a tree.
Yep.
All right, are we done with the Omeed dance, or are we going to leave it up?
Leave it up. Jeez.
Leave it up for a little bit more.
The funny part is it's probably actually from some movie. I think I've seen the dancing lizards before doing the thing. And what's going to happen is my video is going to get flagged on YouTube for copyright. Oh, well.
Just blame Omeed. He's the one that told you. Yes, keep doing it. Yeah, keep doing it.
He's nodding. He is nodding. All right, moving on. Q&A time. Q&A time.
So yes, there will be a show.
We'll have a show. We'll have a bunch of Omeeds in your spot if we can't. It's a Sobe commercial. Okay.
Including the face that I sent you. We'll use that one next week.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
We'll just have that as one of the windows for the thing.
Omeed face. Oops.
Yeah. No, save it for next week though.
Okay. Can we chat ban Falgon? He's teasing. I banned Omeed without even having to have him tease. Very nice. All right, so first question. What is it?
Second question.
We already started the Q&A. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jeez. I was trying to get the sawmill video.
It's all good.
Okay, so...
We're just too efficient.
So, the second question is from Palace 8. Do you think both games will be released this year, since it's the year of EverQuest?
No.
That sounded so... No.
No.
I appreciate the enthusiasm, but they're gonna have their hands tied just getting Landmark out this year. If they can do that successfully, that will be awesome. Next itself is going to be that plus so many other features, and unlike Landmark, it has to be a complete project when it actually comes out, which means those water voxels need to flow
like the spice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think.
And of course, and they have to fly me down to do all the voices. So.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Let's hear your Ixar voice.
They've got to save up them expenses.
My Ixar voice?
Yeah, not the Iskar. Ixar.
Right. I heard you the first time. Let's see. What would the Ixar sound like? Well, in their language or in the common tongue?
Common.
Okay. In the common tongue, let's see, fat or skinny?
Fat.
Fat, like the one that's
the big
next
on
to
the left. Yeah, the guy on the left side with the belly.
Sorry. Papers are flying down from above me on the desk. God, it's my audiobook contract.
Oh yeah, and everyone's excited about your new water bottle, by the way.
Oh yes, I love it. Okay, so how would the Ixar talk about? Ooh, I shouldn't go with the product placement because Welch's isn't exactly paying me. So how would the Ixar sound? It would probably, especially the fat guy. I think.
Oh no, Omeed's here.
Oh well, that's a damn shame, isn't it? No, okay. This is gonna suck so bad.
Probably be Essie, right? Right, Essie.
It would be sibilant. Yes.
Sibilant, yes.
But depending on if he had just gotten out of the bath or not, which is what I'm going to go for.
Bath.
Oh my God!
Fat bath Ixar.
I'm going to get wet doing this. I know I am. I can't do that. I'm going to choke. Okay, so but I'll save it till I'm in the studio, and then we'll do it.
Okay.
He basically sound like, because you got to do the body language too. Will you please bring me that Omeed Dariani? I love the Ixa. Sort
Interesting.
of like that. In their tongue, however, it would be.
That was pretty accurate, I think.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm sorry. No, that was wrong. Actually, it would be Omeed Dariani. There, that would be.
Omeed, we know that stuff. We're supposed to know. You're supposed to tell us what Smed's going to say tonight, so we don't have nobody's going to leave because everyone's ready to take off in about 4 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, I do actually have to probably start packing it up here pretty soon.
That's okay. We got Omeed Face to go in your spot.
Yeah. Because doing the Global Game Jam, it's a 48-hour event that's done worldwide where you grab a team
Play ping
to
pong.
see this video that shows what the inspiration is for this year, and then make a game or a prototype or a demo within 48 hours. So I'll have some news on what I end up making this time next week. 2 weeks, because I'm going to be at the thing next week. So till then, see you later, folks. Have a good one. And see you on Friday next week from SOE.
Okay.
Okay, now he's going to turn off his camera and
Upfront.
it's going to screw everything up. Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I was going to say we'll just wait. Go ahead. Actually, while you're doing that,
Yeah, I've
I'll
got to
ask
fix it,
next.
guys.
I'll go into the next question.
All right.
This question is from Ixad. Creative mode and full modeling capabilities inside personal instances. What are your thoughts?
Are we going to be able to have personal instances? That's the first I've heard about that.
Well, obviously, Ixad said we were.
It was all but confirmed by Dave Georgeson when they were talking about how making actual games would be implemented into the game. So it could well be maybe not a total creative mode, but I think there's going to be so many moving parts associated with making large scale game projects. I imagine it will work slightly differently inside an instance to what it would in the open world. It'd kind of have to, really. As far as full modding goes, then you're getting into really dangerous territory. I think that my personal thing about Landmark is I'd like to see the tools in Landmark, so you don't have to mod things in that way. Apart from UI mods and stuff, obviously that'd be cool. If you're making a certain themed game, it'd be really nice to have like a personalized themed UI to go along with it. That'd be great. So yeah, I guess that's my thoughts on it. I've never really considered it until now, but I think full creative, you got to worry about protecting the economy of the actual game. What's happening to Twitter?
It just totally caught me off guard. I just...
What's happening?
That's what's happening.
That's amazing. Oh god.
Okay. Okay.
There was
Okay.
a point I was watching the round table video earlier today, and one of my housemates came in to ask me something, and I hit pause and I answered his question, and I turned back, and that was the face I saw, and I'm like, oh, where is that snipping tool? Click!
He's beautiful. Beautiful.
Skylatron, we use XSplit. Or I use XSplit. Yeah, the whole show has become the Omeed show. But yet he won't come on the show. This is the only way we can get him on the show is to steal his image and stick it on the show.
Pretty soon we're gonna
I keep trying to tell you, you're playing into his hands.
we're gonna do the little cutout and do the Monty Python style thing, and
Oh, that'd be great.
one of us will have to do his voice, and it won't be me.
Very nice. Kron Rossman says it's like he's saying, "Oh my balls." All right, next question. Where are we at? Okay, from Pac-Man 9251 Lock. PvP. Go.
Oh god, I know what this is about. No.
No? All right. So that wasn't really a question, and that really wasn't an answer.
No, not no to PvP, just no to the question. I have this thing. Basically, I say when you're talking about a game that we know so little about, and we're talking about an MMO that's trying to break a lot of conventions and trying to move in a different direction. I've made the mistake a couple of times of mentioning that PvP exists. Now, when this happens, and we know it's going to be in EverQuest Next as well, it's been confirmed that it's going to be in EverQuest Next, so we have to start from that point. But people always jump on me and say, "Oh, but if we have PvP, this will happen. If we have PvP,
pause for 1 second.
Happen."
Sorry, Tobran, begin your assignment.
34 seconds ago, John Smedley tweeted, "Ask me almost anything going live now. I will respond until 5 p.m." And then there's a link, which I shall now post in the
So
chat.
that'll be on Reddit.
Our lives are so much better for that.
I didn't realize Tobran was so off kilter here. I gotta fix him.
Can we let Locke resume?
Yes, I'm sorry, Locke. Sorry.
Okay.
No problem. No problem at all. I'm good to go. So anyway, my contention is that the term PvP in and of itself, when we're discussing the design of EverQuest Next, is essentially useless. You know, at best it's useless. At worst, it's just totally meaningless and actually harms discussion because people have these preconceived notions of what it is. Now, the conversation started about PvP, and it's definitely the one that people have the most sort of baggage associated with. You know, people have very, very strong opinions of it. But I think the same thing about terms like PvE as well. Because if we can just say about the game, you know, if someone asks the question like, how will raids work? You're just skipping so many steps. You know, we have the opportunity to kind of strip back and go, okay, we know we want the world to be important. We want a sense of community. We want people to work in groups, and maybe we will come to a lot of the same conclusions of what's come before in terms of, you know, how to approach ideas for something new. But if you just start, just the phrase PvP. Immediately, like someone in chat right now is probably telling a story about when they got ganked. It's totally irrelevant. Like, why does that matter? Like, then you're assuming that it's open world PvP. You're assuming that it's free for all PvP. You're assuming that, I don't know. You're assuming that everywhere they're going to have an opportunity to do that. You know, it's just there's so many assumptions inherent in what people come out with. Like, as soon as the conversation starts. But, you know, I'm just saying you need to step back from that, and that's why I think, you know, the term PvP or the term PvE isn't useful when discussing design, because people have their own like kind of concept of what that means already, and it makes it very difficult to even have a conversation about it because everyone's just talking at cross purposes. And, you know, one person goes, you know, it's happened so many times where people go, I hate PvP. If there's PvP in the game, I'm not playing it. And then when you talk to them after a while, you find out it's, you know, just this one specific type of PvP. And then they say, oh, well, you know, I like doing arenas with friends. Oh, I enjoy the odd battleground. Oh, dueling outside the city is really fun.
I love DayZ.
You know, so it's all these different things that they do like, but the one thing that they don't colors the whole thing. And if someone just said, I hate PvE, and then it turned out that it was just heroic mode dungeons, you know, hard mode dungeons, and that was the only element they liked. They like questing, and they like normal mode dungeons, and they like raiding, and they like open world bosses, and they like, you know, they like fishing. that's not really PvE, but you get where I'm going. Where it's not a useful thing. It's not a useful term, and that's what I think about PvP.
Okay. I love that. 3 words. And you went on for 20 minutes. It's okay.
20 minutes.
Pac-Man said, lock, PvP, go, and that was it.
Yeah, I think it's... But it's not... The point I'm trying to make is it's not just PvP that I mean that with. It's just that tends to be the focus of the conversation because I can't get people to stop talking about it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there you go. That's the end of that.
All right. Next question. from Bad Viking 82. With the recent announcement of SOE closing 4 of their games, do you think it will affect EverQuest Next or EverQuest Next Landmark in a positive or negative way?
Going to say positive.
Yeah.
Because they'll be able to put more resources towards EQN, and that's what I'm thinking.
They won't have people working on Vanguard or Free Realms or whatever. They can move those people maybe over to Next or Landmark, whatever studio part they're in. Move them there, then you've got more people to work on that.
Okay, Shadowspawn says Smed is not going to give the Landmark Alpha start date. There's no need to bail.
Of course, it's not. They're getting all the bad news out of the way. So when come the community thing, it's all happy days.
I'm telling you, it's next Wednesday at 4 p.m. It starts.
It's a shame that the games are closing, but ultimately, if they're not, profitable enterprises, or if SOE feel like they could be using those resources in a better way, it's a shame, but it happens. It's going to happen more and more. The MMO industry is still relatively young. We'll see a lot more MMOs go, over the next few years, I'm sure. As we kind of, as we get into this real sort of next, if you'll pardon the pun, this next generation of MMOs when so much more is possible. Just in terms of technology, then it's gonna happen more, and these companies are gonna have to make some difficult decisions about how to use their resources, and a lot of people will be sad about it. But that's why we're all here, because we're looking forward to something new, aren't we? We're not following EverQuest Next because we want the same experience, that we've had many times before, or not the same experience, the same the same game.
What's the update there, Tobran? Apparently a lot of stuff's going on over there.
Well, apparently there's nothing on Twitter at the moment, so I don't actually have the tab for the thing.
It'll be on Reddit.
Yeah.
I'm just here because I'm looking for a boyfriend.
Apparently, Omeed is holding back Smedley. I didn't realize that was possible, but he says
he's the one with the controls to the shot collars.
I was just going to say that. I was like, it's the shot collar.
I told you, man.
You guys are on the same wavelength tonight. Look at that.
Okay, so someone asked, when does Landmark Alpha start? And then Smedley replied, the one question I promised our PR person I would keep my mouth shut about. I can say, stay tuned, very tuned. So, it's a fancy way of saying,
I'm telling you, I think next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, mate, Tuesday.
It's probably going to be right after their party. So you guys at the party will get a chance to play with it. And then right after the party, the rest of us get to play with it. No speculation,
I assume it'd be after, because, I imagine their office is going to be pretty hellish the week after Alpha goes live. They're going to have a hell of a lot to deal with. So
soon,
I imagine...
It's soon.
It would be very, very soon.
And remember,
they said on or before the 28th of February.
Right.
They're ahead of schedule. We should,
I'm happy about it. This is almost like watching and betting on the thing. But the reason I think it's soon is normally on our show we have like 4 or 5 devs here, and the only person here tonight is Omeed. Oh, and Eric. I'm sorry, Eric's here too. But
only 2.
Only 2 out of the 17 that usually come.
Why did I bother? Why did I bother coming?
Shadowspawn says that's his prediction too, right after the party.
George won't bother.
And Felgen says soon as well.
With 4 exclamation points.
Right, so 4 days time, right?
4 days from now, yeah. We can read right into that.
So yes, is that a good answer to that question?
Yep, sounds good. Okay, so I'm just reading. Felgun says, I'm barely a dev. You built stuff and you've played the game. You're a dev.
Did he change his name?
It's all on you. It's all on you, Mr. Smith.
Or did you ban him and he had to create a new account?
Who, Omeed?
No, Felgon.
No, he's still Felgon.
It was just Felgon before, now it's Felgon SOE.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's Half-Life 4
4
confirmed.
exclamation points, Half-Life 4 confirmed.
There we go.
That's what it says.
Zubai says, what are we talking about? I missed everything. Yeah, we just found out about the date of Alpha being released, but we're not allowed to repeat it again.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to redact it.
We all had to sign an NDA.
Yeah. Sorry, Zubai. All right. Gamer Girl asks, what are your thoughts on if there will be a concept of alignment in EverQuest Next Landmark? I know Landmark is starting out as only human, but I'm interested to find out what your thoughts are about the pros and cons of what alignment does to a game community.
It's an interesting question.
Okay, let's pretend we're talking about next here.
What?
I'll go first. I'm deciding.
Yeah. We haven't heard from you tonight.
You have. You're not listening.
Hey, Tobran.
Okay. Hey, Log. Haven't seen you in ages.
How you doing?
I do good. Right, so Landmark is pretty much a building game. If there is some sort of, faction or alignment or something in there, to me that just doesn't make sense, because that is the building game. To me, it doesn't make sense. There will be hundreds of other people out there like, no, you should have this, you should have that. Personally, I say no, but whatever, have your own thoughts. But in Next, however, I feel like having alignment and factions and all that sort of thing would be amazing. Have you ever played Dungeons & Dragons? Anyone?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Even the original EverQuest had alignments,
Exactly. But the point is, even if you are different alignments, you can still make friends with those people. Hell, one of my friends is like a lawful evil person, and I'm chaotic good, and we get along just fine. It doesn't have to limit the gameplay experience, and that's something I feel a lot of people are like, oh, it's bad to have it because you won't get to interact with other people. You will. You just have to know how. That's what I'm really getting at.
Yeah.
So Smedley apparently,
you know me. In everything I talk about, I've got a real thing against putting players in different buckets, and then they're always separate. The whole Horde versus Alliance thing, and never the twain shall meet. I think you end up with just wonky servers where everyone's in one particular thing, and it doesn't really benefit anyone. I think on the other hand, having like Tobran said, having a more like fluid faction system within the game where you can be aligned to various different groups, where there's more shades of grey. It doesn't have to be that everyone is at war with everyone else, but it's just like maybe a couple of them are, and then different ones have different relationships with them, and then that alters like their relationships with each other. And I think things like that can really bring a world to life where it feels like it feels like these things matter when you have those sort of shifting alignments, and I think that a lot of MMOs that have the sort of it's the 3 faction thing now is quite trendy. And mind you, they've gone back to 2 with WildStar, haven't they? And Guild Wars didn't have any at all.
Right.
Guild Wars 2.
Everybody loved everybody there.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's quite telling that Guild Wars 2 had probably, as far as map chat goes, one of the nicest communities. That was probably more to do with being able to help each other and stuff as well, though. But I think factions are very important. But I think putting players into buckets that they can never escape from is it's limiting. And I think there's better ways to go about it, more interesting ways to go about it. And if it's going to be a sandbox game, I think it'd be good. And as far as Landmark goes, we'll be making our own games and stuff, so it's totally up to you. You can have whatever you want, can't you?
Well, there's Domino. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, is 3 devs enough?
No.
Yeah.
No, we want the entire staff watching our show. Because at some point, maybe one will want to come on.
I was just going to say, if you're going to wish big. Tell them you want them clawing over each other to get on the show.
Yeah. We need dancing bears or something. I don't know.
Why would they not want to get involved?
Loki says, finally something about a mobile authenticator. The unannounced, Smelly just announced an unannounced MMO, not EverQuest Next. It's going to be PlanetSide 2. Yeah, Omeed's already on the show, but he's not talking much. He's just dancing with some lizards. That would be hilarious if the unannounced was EQN.
I'm terribly sorry. I'm going to have to disappear for 2 minutes.
Oh, no. You're leaving too?
Oh, no.
Just leave the camera on.
I'm not leaving. I will be back.
Yeah, just leave your camera on.
The camera.
And we'll talk about you while you're gone.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Jeez, everyone's leaving the show tonight. We're down to us 3, so what are you guys doing?
Chilling.
You
guys?
Doing a podcast? So Skylatron wants in... What's that?
Dealing with the fact that Omeed just said he's not leaky.
He does not leak things. Because he was saying how many drinks we have to give him to make him leak.
See, I thought it was something about the lizards. And
No. Penapod says the dancing lizards is always enough. It's not. I would rather have one of you guys actually on the show. Because as good as the dancing lizards are, they can't answer questions.
neither can the guys from SOE.
No, with an attitude like that, you can't.
No, but we can. I want Penapod or one of these guys on the show, or lady. I want them on the show so I want to talk to them about like their life and how they got involved with Sony and all that kind of stuff. I actually want to do interviews. But I understand they got NDAs and can't talk to us.
Penpod actually has a video on her YouTube channel about how she actually got into SOE, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, I understand, but I'd like to discuss it with them.
Alright.
It's not the same. It's like a dancing lizard thing with Omeed. All right, well, I guess we can go on to the next question, which is from LockSixTime. Have we seen the levels in crafting, or are there only recipes?
I hope it's just recipes. Like,
It's a little bit like Minecraft
MMO
kind of thing? Like once you've unlocked it, it's there?
Yeah, but then you go up tiers. Like, you have a recipe for it, and then you can get like the next tier if you have the materials. It's not like every other MMO ever, where it's like, yeah, if you want to get up to be able to do iron stuff, you've got to make 500 copper swords. And it's like, what am I going to do with 500 copper swords? It doesn't feel like something I would want to do. You know, I want to make the iron stuff, not the copper stuff. I'd rather just be able to learn the recipe and then forge it into copper.
Cronus says, so it's not fair that the devs can build a phallic forest and we can't. Well, they have to test it out.
Don't worry, we can report them, get them back.
That's
So
always
Penapod-
been my excuse, too.
Yeah. Penapod just said that she's right now listening to the podcast and playing EverQuest Next Landmark just to rub it in.
What?
Just to rub it in.
Strolling.
I can hear her landmark face from here.
Oh, Loki says alpha announcement. Check it out, Tobran. Minute by minute.
Hold on,
Okay.
let me find this.
We're going to wind up with a boy who cried wolf
Lies.
thing going on.
Lies.
Well, the guy's name's Loki, so he might be a little bit mischievous.
It's probably Loke.
It could be Loke. Tone Loke.
The God eats the body.
There is nothing.
Nothing?
will be you.
There's nothing here.
Felgon says we're having a play test. Shh, Felgon.
Mm-hmm.
Bad to tease us.
Well, you play testing the food as well. You know, you've got like a caterer coming, and that's your big secret, isn't it? You've actually invited Locke to fly out and cater the whole event. That's what it is. It's just not. Nobody's supposed to know he's going to be there. It's going to be everybody but me. Thank you very much, bastards.
All right, how I got into this biz? Omeed says I wouldn't be in the game industry if I hadn't stepped in a bowl of ramen noodles. See, those kind of stories I would like you to elaborate, elucidate, tell us all about your wonderful story, because I'm sure there's something really deep and profound about stepping in a bowl of ramen noodles.
It was a very deep bowl of ramen noodles.
It could be.
But what I want to know is, was it like the top, like the Nissan ramen package stuff, or was it like, you know, he went to a ramen, you know, restaurant and
like aja noodle or something.
Yeah, something.
All right, let's move on. So Geek, your mic is a little low. I turned it up. What do you guys like about the altars being used to craft high tier items or more unique items? Additionally, do you think guilds will try to guard altars to keep them ready for large scale crafting later in the beta or the game starts? One thing about that before the second part of that question I can answer right now, the altars move, they disappear, and they show up in different places, so there is no guarding. All right, move on. What do you guys think about the crafting of it?
It's a good idea. I mean, before in every other MMO, I keep saying this because it's true. Crafters stay in a town, and that's it. They can go out and harvest stuff, and then they might come back. But most of the time, they'll just go in the auction house, buy all the stuff, go back to the crafting table, craft it all, sell it back in the auction house. And that's the way it's always been. This way, they actually have to go out. They have to go out if they want to sell their stuff for a higher price, which I think is probably a bit more interesting than sitting around in a town doing nothing.
Yeah, Omeed, if you'd like to come on the show right now and talk to us, you can tell us your story. All you need to do is call me on Skype.
I do like that idea of the going to. I mean, it's like the beginning of Beauty and the Beast, where Maurice he's got his wood chopping machine ready and he's taking it to market to try to sell it. I do like that idea very much.
What about just Maurice being in the game?
What about the bricks?
I think it's great. I mean, I think I mentioned this earlier, but my favorite thing about it is it makes exploration genuinely important. Within the game, it's integrating different playstyles together, and again, I always go on about this, but I think it's just so important to bring people together and bring people that have different playstyles and make them useful to each other. Get a little bit of mixing going on. Obviously, there's people that enjoy exploring and crafting. There'll be people out in the world who just happen across these things, but I think ultimately, I imagine there'll be people playing the game. When I was talking to someone the other day actually, and they were asking me, do you think exploration will actually be a worthwhile pursuit within the game? Do you think there'll be any value to it? And I was saying, well, I hope there is. And these altars, that's exactly what it is. It adds an incredible amount of value to being out into the world and to going into places that a lot of other people haven't gone into, because then you're the one that's found it, and that adds a huge amount of value to the game. And I think it's a very elegant solution to a problem that's been around forever. But
well, not just that, but also the fact that we've long since established the fact that things like mining nodes and whatever don't appear in the same places all the time. So there is no telling where you're going to have to go to find the resources that you need. You have to go out and explore. So it's not like, I'll just go over to I know that there's a tin node. If I've got 100 copper daggers that I don't know what to do with, I can just go mine some tin and melt these copper daggers back down and make some bronze. So, okay, cool. Let's nice moment of silence for the death of my ego.
No, it was the death of Vanguard. All the moments of silence tonight are brought to you by the death of Vanguard. Sorry, I was just looking at something. Omeed says Friday's my day to sit in the office and to get work done. And Dustifer said, so what do you do Monday through Thursday then? And I said, play Landmark. So that's why I was not there to answer your pause. All right, so next one, Mr. Bad Viking asks, do you think people will claim altar locations and sell them to the highest? No, we just kind of covered that.
Yeah.
There is no location. That's just... I mean, they might randomly pop. I'm hoping they're completely random. So.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be a procedural element to them. So I doubt that they'll pop up in the middle of a mountain. I imagine that they'll be at least in a logical place. I mean, I hope there's, in the way that there's different types of crafting benches, I almost hope there's different types of altars as well that do different things and appear in different places in the world. Just to get people moving around. And like I said about having the crafting hubs, it's a great way to bring people together. Having these altars is a great way to spread people out and make people go into the world. Like, how many MMOs end up just being lobbies for content? The actual open world is essentially useless. Like, once you've done the quests through it, even if there's no levels and even if there's level scaling or something, there's no real reason to go back to areas that you've already been through. So the whole game is, like Tobran says, all the crafters are sitting in the town. All the max level players are sitting in the town as well, like ready to teleport straight to the dungeon or raid or whatever. Get people into the world, exploring together. That's what I'd like to see. In my perfect world.
I'm just showing the altars right now on the screen.
And not just on the world, but under it. All three things.
Tiers.
Thank you.
That's you're absolutely welcome, sir. That's no problem at all. And that does bring in as well, if there are going to be different types of altars, maybe the highest of high level altars will be in those really difficult to reach areas, or the very when combat's in, maybe they'll be in very dangerous to reach areas. So you have these crafter people who are like, oh no, I just want to craft, I'm not interested in combat. And then you go, well, you're going to have to go to these dangerous areas though, what are you going to do? And the crafter goes, well, there's a lot of people who do like fighting, that want the stuff that I'm going to make with the altar, maybe they could come with me.
Yeah,
we
make a
could
mission.
all go to the altar.
Yeah, make a mission out of it.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Make a little, and that's it's truly dynamic, isn't it? Like, it's a real sandbox. Everyone could go. Anything could happen. Just saying. That's something that could happen.
What set you off, Trendane?
What Omeed said.
Working with Mr. Soul to get a good version done?
Oh.
What happened?
Jeremy.
Yes, the musician.
I didn't know he was involved in it.
Yeah, didn't they do it? They did a whole thing.
He's heavily involved.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I was paying attention. I was probably recording at the time, or asleep. I sleep during the day. You know that.
You heard it. You heard it here first.
Confirmed.
I did. Well, I read
Jeremy
it.
Soul.
What's about EQ Nexus?
They're going to be doing the music. Question from Tila: is the water still not ready?
Well, it's right here.
Yes. This question is actually for our tester, Mr. Felgon. Tell us about the water, if you can.
See, it works fine.
What's up with the water?
Tell us the water, its secrets.
If I wanted to, I could even pour it all across my desk and it would flow down onto the floor. So,
Omeed says yep.
Omeed says yep. Yep for what? One-word answers shall not do.
There'll be no water, only lava.
Everywhere.
Soon. Okay.
The floor is lava, and what we build is the bridges to navigate the world.
Awesome.
Yeah, so there's no water, only school. Brilliant.
Kumama asks, "Do we think
it'll be in? Just
it'll be there. Probably maybe not in the beginning.
It'll be one of those things. It'll be a very talked about thing, even though there'll be a lot of other things like missing in alpha. There'll be a lot of things that we're not even talking about. No one's even brought up, and then they'll suddenly mention it, and everyone will go, "Oh my god, this new thing's coming into alpha that we didn't even think about before." But people will fixate on the water because it's a topic.
Yeah.
It's something that we talk about, and it is important, but it also is coming. So alpha.
All right. Do we think we will have player cities and player vendors? I think we talked about that before. Did we talk about this before, or we were speculating at that point? I don't remember.
Well, for
the vendor, I mean.
For Landmark, I'd be incredibly surprised if we didn't get to the point where we had cities. For Next, I think there will be cities that have a lot of assets that have been built by players. I think that'll probably be. That'll probably be. Hello.
Oh.
Riz disappeared.
Now he screwed everything up.
I was going to say, I'll bet that shifted everything, didn't it?
That shifted everything.
Yep.
I'm telling you, he can't leave ever again. He can't do this. You can't come on the show for an hour and then leave. Screwed everything up.
I said, player vendors. What do you reckon?
Well, okay, with Star Wars Galaxies, when my friends were first trying to get me to play that, back when it didn't suck, before they destroyed it.
It was pretty good before it sucked, yeah.
At one point, yeah, I heard it was really, really great, and I said, I'm not sure I'd even want to play because I don't think I'd be able to do what I want to do. And they're like, well, what do you want to do? I said, I want to own a and traffic and information. I want to be the guy that Luke was like, hey, I'll have one of those, and I'm the one who, says, oh, you're looking for a pilot? Go talk to Solo or whatever. And, I'm a pimp, basically. But, or I own a shop like what's his, your Jedi tricks don't work on me, Watto.
Smeagol.
Waddle Smeagol. Waddle Smeagol? Whatever.
Smeagol, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm making that up. It's not Smeagol.
Yeah, I know. It was Watto. But anyway, that really high-end, like custom stuff, items and things like, that you need a hyperdrive for this ship, this particular ship. You want to buy things like, a T-17 or a Womp-Rat carcass, you can get that from an NPC vendor, no problem. But if you want, a Nubian hyperdrive, you have to go to a PC vendor, and you have to go there when his shop is open. I mean, I thought that would be, and that's the level of granularity that I want with this. And they're like, you can do that. And then like the next week, they screwed it all up. It was that big patch that blew everything out of the water. I'm like, you know, and I was pissed off. So
dude, it's such a shame though, isn't it? Like when I first kind of became conscious that there were these things called MMOs where there were like loads of people, you know, playing games. When I had it described to me, that's sort of what I imagined in my head. You know, I imagined people being those vendors in cities, and you know, having to defend cities, and actually, you know, the world being important. And it just seems more and more like we've gone towards this model of the world is inconsequential. Like the world you might as well be browsing a lobby. You know, they might as well just have the looking for group tool up on the screen the whole time. And I think it's a shame. I understand why it happened. You know, there's obvious benefits to doing it, and a lot of the player base seem to think now that it's essential for a game. But I totally agree with you, Trent. I think, you know, just making players important to the world as a whole, I think is you know, maybe it's a lost art, maybe it's something that's just never really been possible, but I'd like to see it.
I mean, I'd love to see that with EQN in particular. I would like to see that.
Yeah.
You know, that there is a player run shop where you need some item that is either player made or is a very, you know, exclusive item, and that is only handled by player shop owners. You can't find it in an NPC shop. That's what I want. Omeed, make that happen.
Chop chop.
Go.
All right, I fixed the screen, guys, so I'm back and paying attention here. All right.
I fixed it fully. There are some lizards missing.
Malice says, can we add the Omeed? What?
Let's move on.
Oh, the lizards?
Missing lizards, yeah.
Oh, hold on. No, okay. Jeez. There we go. He's back. All right. Speaking of which, next question is, can we add the Omeed gift to our claim welcome thing?
That's actually what it is by default. I don't know how much you guys know about this.
If we can get a developer who's responsible for skinning different objects, we need to have a 3D mapper where we can take that image of Omeed and map that onto the face of his statue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So his statue is just every time somebody comes over, oh, great Omeed statue, may I please have a +2 sword of Ixar stimulating, please? It just drops right there.
Yeah. It'd be like they did in Clash of the Titans, where they had the statue's head of Athena, I think it was, and then they played like a movie over the top of it, and it's talking. It was high tech in the day.
Oh, the original.
Yeah, the original Clash of the Titans. Yeah.
That was it was Clash of the Titans, and it was Zeus. It was on the back of the shield.
Okay, but yeah, the high tech stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. From Topographic, how should we be able to pay for our claim upkeep? You know, resources, plat, station cast, and how expensive should it be?
What a good question.
It is a good question.
I think it should be cripplingly exorbitant just to keep people from doing it.
So nobody keeps up their claim at all. It just everything falls apart.
Yes.
I've been playing a lot of Rust lately, and stuff does degrade, and I like the degradation thing because it keeps the server a little bit cleaner.
Yeah. I think, you know, obviously it's an incredibly delicate thing, and some people are going to be unhappy however they do it. Mm-hmm. I think it's quite an obvious perk for a subscription model.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how happy people would be about that. But, you know, part of the reason that it exists is because, you know, they don't want people creating free accounts and just having a ton of claims everywhere. So obviously, you know, if people are paying a subscription model, you know, I'm sure that they're happy for them to leave a claim as long as they're paying the subscription. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's one way that'll happen. But I mean, I don't want to say obviously, but you know, you will be able to do it entirely in game without having to spend any money. And finding that level is probably something that will that will happen during alpha. They're going to be looking at what players are doing and how much of what resource players are getting, and what's considered valuable, what's considered cheap, and
let me interrupt you real quick.
I guess they'll work it out that way.
Omeed has actually answered the question. He says, we're obviously going to be testing on prices, etc., but I think that even a casual player will be able to keep 3 to 4 claims running without paying any money. You can pay your upkeeps with in-game resources or with station cash.
See what I mean? I don't even know why you bothers turn that when you got me here. Hey, what do you need? What do you need Omeed for? Eh? What's he got that I haven't got?
I got
a job at Sony.
I got a question for that Mr. Omeed Dariani down there. Is SOE going to accept Bitcoin at any point? Don't actually answer that.
Yeah, we want a cryptocurrency. That'd be great. Because I've got like 12,000 Dogecoins right now. Omeed says, our current thinking is that upkeep prices will go up for your second, third, and fourth claims, etc. So
makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. As you keep adding more stuff, it's going to get more and more expensive, probably exponentially. So that probably keeps it from people having 100 claims. So they're still testing it out. Okay. Omeed coin. Yeah, actually,
don't.
We should, yeah.
Don't.
Hey, look. Dogecoin started out as a joke too, but
you know what that coin's going to look like?
It'll have his face going like this on the front of it.
We need a little animated, a little LED screen in the middle of the coin. So it's just that face over and over and over again. That's all it does.
Well, I'm going to get right on that. We're going to make Omeed coin.
Okay.
There, Omeed, you will be you'll be immortalized in a coin. Adding claims is kind of like progression in some ways. That's what Locke said in the beginning.
What'd I tell you?
Yep.
You got me here. What you need him for? Hey.
Brings
us nothing but pain.
Bardstill Delight wants to know: can we see Tobran's artwork in detail?
My artwork?
Yeah, the stuff on your wall.
Oh,
the EverQuest map.
No, I wish.
Was it? Was Middle Earth?
Right. Yeah, it's Middle Earth.
Okay.
2 posters from Guild Wars 2, and Legend of Zelda poster.
Well, I couldn't see it, Locke. All I could see was a little corner of it. I didn't know if it was the original EverQuest poster.
Yeah,
that's a map of murder.
Modor.
Yeah, that is my wall.
That's going to be such an obscure reference. Like 90% of people watching this was going to be sitting there going, "What's Jen doing? He's lost his mind."
Oh well, of course, yes. Everybody knows that.
That you lost your. Look, Omeed just nodded. All right.
See,
he keeps popping up at the best times. Like you say his name, and it pops up at that very second when you say it. It's just perfect. I don't know the timing.
It's like the devil.
It is. Up he jumps. There he's nodding again. All right. Palisade says, "Will there be water in the game at the event?" Which event? I guess the event at the
one at the end
party?
of the month, I imagine. I don't know. It's been really dry here in California.
Yeah,
I don't know if we can
much.
afford water voxels right now.
It never rains in Southern California.
Yeah.
All right. Topographic says, can you comment on the computer specs they just released for Alpha? Are they standard or high for today's games? I think they're pretty standard.
They're fairly high, actually.
You think they're high?
i5s are fairly, 3-5 years ago? Somewhere that time.
My laptop's an i5. I mean, it's not that amazing.
When did you buy it go?
Well, if you think in terms of actual power, like it's not much. Obviously, it's not as low as MMOs on the market, but it's alpha. It's not optimized in any way. It's they've said you need a 64-bit operating system to run it because it's an early build, and they're going to be tweaking it. It will get lower by the time launch comes around. It won't be that high, but I don't think it's.
They just don't want people trying to connect playing on Windows XP for frick's sake. That's still 30% of all the computers in the world still use XP. God.
Jesus.
Get with it, people. We're heading into Windows 9 now. So.
Do you think it's going to suck?
Windows 9? No, it's going to be the Windows 8 is like Windows ME. Remember that?
Unfortunately, yes. I worked at S3. I had to test on it every day.
Yeah, Windows ME was ass. So, and then it skipped another one. XP was pretty good. and then or did I have that backwards? But anyway, then it went to Vista, which was just crap, and then 7's good, and then 8's crap, and then 9 will be great.
So it's like Star Wars films.
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
Possibly. All right.
Star Trek films, the odd-numbered ones, all rubbish.
How do you feel about? Okay, this one's for Locke. How do you guys feel about randomized stats, effort, reward when in the context of being completely randomized Diablo 3 or Aeon chance type of production items? There's a couple of questions in there. You kind of get the gist of what he was asking, or she might have been asking. Okay.
I think because of the way that stats and effects work in Landmark, I think having them randomized is a very interesting way to go about it. But the word random is a very scary word. It's not going to be the case that you're going to craft something and have absolutely no idea what it's going to do. Everything comes in tiers. We know that there's different materials within a tier, so you can probably expect a certain level of something when you craft. It's procedurally generated. It's not totally random, so it's going to fall within narrow sort of boundaries, and there'll probably be certain aspects of the materials that you're using, and obviously with the relic things going in, that you will be able to control. What's interesting about the fact it's a procedural system means that the range of things that will available will be very large by design, which means that unexpected things could happen. When you open up that possibility space, yes, a lot of it will be garbage. A lot of those middle range things people will have no interest in. But when something pops up that is very strange, then that's when people get the opportunity to, have fun with it and see what can be done with it and be creative with it. And I think that's important. And as well, it's not totally random. Like it'll have the same number of stats or the same spread of stats, but it's just a few little differences here and there. So it's not like one thing is going to have 2% and another thing's going to have 98%, when they're made of exactly the same thing. It's going to fall within certain parameters, but it will be procedural. So in my opinion, anything that increases possibility space is good. I understand that there are some people that play these games that want very kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? They want to know exactly what they're going to get for the effort and investment that they put in. Yeah. Honestly, when you're playing a creative sandbox building game, you're not gonna get that. That's not the best way to design that kind of game, and I'm sure that Sony are fully aware of that, which is why they're going for this model, because they want to open up possibility. So if you want to go out and grind a mob for 10 hours, it's like those people that complained in Guild Wars 2 because they put in diminishing returns. People were going out and grinding mobs and doing the whole path of least resistance thing. So they put in this system that would just mean you just got to go somewhere else or do something different, or not just repeat the same action. Yeah. People went nuts. People were so mad that they couldn't just bang their head against the wall for 10 hours and get the same result every time. It was really weird.
I remember they talked about
different games are different.
They had the mobs that were farther off the path would be more XP, so that's why you wanted to go traveling around. I just wanted to butt in here real quick. There was somebody posted up here that Layden says, Star Wars Galaxies, I would do everything differently. Star Wars Galaxies, our next game, not announced yet, is dedicated to you. Once we launch it, you can come home now. So is Smedley basically saying that they're going to be entering into the Star Wars IP? It's dangerous there.
Yeah.
There's not too many games, especially MMOs, that did Star Wars right. So, especially with the recent failure with SWTOR. I mean, not recent, it's a couple years already, but...
well, maybe they've got a new idea. They seem to be, in the company as a whole, they seem to be in a mindset that they're happy making products for markets right now. It's something we're seeing a lot. Camelot Unchained came along, Star Citizen came along.
Omeed says
37 million Star Citizen.
Omeed says no. He's not talking about Star Wars. Okay.
Pity, because with the release of
you know,
Battlefront 1313, like,
Oh, he's talking about the type of game that Star Wars Galaxies was. Thank you, Omeed, for clarifying.
But these niche products, they're going to be, big business, really. Like if you can have a stable player base, I think that it's the Eve model, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So you know your audience and you know who your game is for, and you create, you tailor an experience to them rather than trying to cover this huge broad spectrum of people and never really being able, just because of resources, not because of want of trying or anything, but just because when the game is so big and so complicated and you need to make so many people happy all the time and you can't be seen to favor one or the other, it's an impossible task, really, isn't it? Especially for a new MMO going up against these behemoths that are so entrenched and have so many features. It's not really feasible to go up against that in the same way, is it? Maybe I'm crazy.
Firefly MMO.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
Discworld MMO. That's what I want to say.
What's that?
I forget who I was talking about this, but the Terry Pratchett's Discworld, the novel series.
I was just saying that yesterday on my stream. I was on a stream and I said, all the different types of IPs, I would love to see a Terry Pratchett one.
Yeah,
it'd be great.
The Firefly MMO, Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman are both involved in that.
Oh, it's actually there's one being produced? I just thought he was saying,
I heard it was like a sort of mobile game though, rather than being a sort of full-fledged PC title.
I think it has a strong mobile component, but I think it also has, a solid PC thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's great.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see. Can you confirm, Omeed, whether it's a sci-fi or not?
See, now he's going to say no. And you're not going to know if he means no, I can't confirm it, or no, it's not a sci-fi. See, that's the way he is. Okay. That's the way he works.
Omeed, can you confirm if it's a sci-fi game? I did it again?
It's not.
Then you ask it. I don't know how to ask it where he won't be able to twist it.
I don't care. Oh. They're killing my baby. I don't care.
He says no comment, which he put a period at the end, which means it was a complete sentence. And I'm guessing that it's definitely a science fiction game.
Yeah, they say they're building something that people who played
Planet
Side would be looking forward to.
Oh, so it's a Planet Side MMO.
No, I would hope not. But they said something that Planet Side fans would enjoy. So maybe it is sci-fi. Maybe something.
It's Half-Life 4. All right,
Japanese MMO. That'll be it.
All right, we got to scoot on here because we're running out of time. We got a lot of questions still. So going into speed round. All right, so short answers.
Speed round.
All right, what do you think will happen with our creations when Landmark is eventually shut down?
They disappear.
Well, I guess they'll still exist in that, in that point in the far distant future. I imagine, they'll probably start creating private Hive servers for people to, be able to do whatever the hell they want on it. If they're cool and if they're smart, that's how they'll do it.
15 years on, EverQuest is still there. So, I mean...
yeah, it's a long way in the future.
Does it even
but my creation!
Yeah,
I'm
hoping that if you don't maintain them, they just degrade into the dirt. Because that's all we need is servers filled with just random penis monuments. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kumama asks, will there be building claims in EverQuest next, or Landmark is where we do the housing? It's a good question, actually. Because once you're in Next, do you have to then leave Next, go to Landmark to go to your house for that night, or can you buy a house in Next?
I would imagine there will be a very robust housing system for EverQuest Next. As far as building, it's very unlikely that it'll work the same way because of the way that voxels and props and everything. I don't know. I'm not a game designer like I always say, but I think it would make more sense to have a different system within EverQuest Next that obviously linked back to things that happened in Landmark. Whether you'd be able to build something in Landmark and then directly import it into EverQuest Next, I think.
Omeed's answering the questions for us. There will be separate housing in Next.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, I totally understand why you have the upkeep thing, because I'm running a Rust server myself right now, which is exactly like being on EverQuest Next. And so...
I presume.
Yeah. And you need the server to be wiped out every once in a while, or at least have things break down so that it clears up, because people are building all kinds of crazy stuff there, and it gets built up pretty quickly. It's hard to get it to... you can't find places to build anymore. It's so packed. All right. Do you guys think, this is from Deadpan, what do you guys think about a server where your character would age? Eventually you would be getting, you'd be playing as your grandchild, and having to deal with whatever legacy is handed down through the lineage. A little bit like Death of
Little Rogue Legacy there.
Rogue Legacy, or Death of a Spaceman from Star Citizen, where as you die, you come back as the heir to your throne.
I think it's a very cool system, and it works well in some games. But if we're doing a speed round, I'll say it's probably not something that we'll see in an MMO.
Okay.
Could be incredibly dangerous if at the alchemy altar thing you build an aging potion, and you're just like, this will make me immortal, and you have no heirs.
Good point.
He chose poorly.
All right, what do you guys think about SOE's new all-access membership plan? Tobran, go.
Good.
All right, good. All right, what do you guys think about the confirmation of EverQuest Next landmark composer?
I don't know what that is.
I don't either. I didn't hear about it.
For the love of God, somebody know what this is, so I don't sound like...
I'll admit it, I didn't actually see this, so I don't know what EverQuest Next landmark composer is. Are we making songs?
What are we talking about, Cassard? What is this thing of which you speak?
All right, we'll go on to the next question. We'll come back.
If it's anything, it might be close to a more developed version of the city music editor in Spore, because you could make a custom song in the music editor for every city.
Oh,
I know. I've never really seen it, but I know in
pause.
Things online.
It's what do we think about it being Soul?
Oh.
No, I get it.
Haven't we always known that?
Yeah,
I did.
Sure we have.
I didn't. I'm the only person.
So we already knew. So Trendane, it's your thing. What do you think? What do you think about it?
I don't care anymore. Now that I know, it's fine. No, actually, I love Mr. Soul's music. So
okay.
I am incredibly. I just think he. Some people might think he's a two-timey bastard, because I know he's doing this stuff for that would be funny though if he did for Star Citizen and Elder Scrolls Online and EverQuest.
Elder Scrolls, that's right. Yeah.
That would be hysterical.
I know I saw him somewhere in some making of thing. See ya, Det Sulfur. Thanks for coming. All right. This is from Marcellus. I know it's way early, but in terms of open world combat and large scale engagements between players, do you think destructible environments, ground, and different tiers can cause problems for combat?
No, they create opportunities for combat. Yeah.
You ever played Battlefield 4? Anyone?
Can you blow up the...
good! You can blow up a wall and then shoot someone through it. It's amazing.
But can you destroy the ground? But it'd be better than
that though, because in Battlefield it's it's set what can be destroyed and what can't, isn't it? Whereas in EverQuest Next, in theory, everything is fair game, at least until it sort of respawns. But this is like what I was talking about, the problems of PvP before. You need to think about something from the foundation up. And part of whenever they talk about PvP, Dave Georgeson loves to say, we have these destructible environments. Imagine what that can mean for players in combat with each other when their abilities are destroying areas, and then underground combat as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what if you then had somebody had built an iron golem and was sending it after the castle, and they had known that this thing was coming, and so they dug in and they got if there's a waiting strength to the ground, that you hollow it out just enough that it'll stay as long as nobody's standing on it, and this iron golem goes walking, boom, and it just drops through the thing.
That'd be fantastic.
Amazing.
That'd be great.
Think about all the possibilities a system like that lets you have. you know, in battlegrounds and stuff as well. Like imagine designing. You know, we don't know how much instances are going to be used or whatever, but imagine an area that was set up to be, you know, a PvP team versus team battleground thing. And as part of the area, you had like very narrow bridges and you had a lot of choke points and things. It makes those areas so much more valuable. And then, you know, with your player builds and stuff, it adds an extra element of depth to that, because you've got to think, what abilities do I have that affect the environment around me, and how can I use those abilities myself? And, you know, in cooperation with other players on my team, you know, what can we do? Can we trap enemy players in an area and like just dig out the ground from underneath them? Like how's that going to work? I think it's very exciting. I think, you know, it definitely creates new challenges, but then, you know, a challenge is an opportunity.
Gotta move on. Sorry.
So,
all right, Shadowspawn says, with the dev diary about crafting today, what are your thoughts about the rarest of rare items possibly only being made by the highest of high-level crafters, therefore eliminating those dropped items, armor, weapons, etc., better than what was the best item crafter can craft?
That sounded like a how much wood could a woodchuck chuck wood thing.
No, I was like, as I was reading it.
So the best items being made by players and not dropping.
I love it. It's fantastic. That's the best way to do it, I think. I'd
say the best materials, let the best materials drop off stuff, but not the best items.
Right.
You know.
Because I can't stand that. You have to go farm things in you know, rare areas and stuff like that, and maybe something will drop, or you have to go fight some boss 25 times to try to see if that thing you want drops. I would rather it was made by players, honestly.
Next.
All right. Next, will Landmark need its own version of Redstone if it wants to keep captive audience for years to come? Did I miss the Minecraft question? I think I did.
We'll need a version of Redstone. It will need, you know, you'll need to be able to do. You'll be able to have like active things within the game. You know, that's confirmed already. Whether it'll be similar to Redstone, you know, whether there'll be a sort of a power source kind of thing in that way. Probably not.
All right, so this is a question I really did want to ask. What do you guys think Landmark... Do you think Landmark will eclipse Minecraft in terms of success? Absolutely.
I think at first there will be a huge migration to it. And then I think after that, people will drift back. Well, the hardcore traditionalists will drift back to Minecraft.
You think? I mean, I know some Minecraft people that are hardcore Minecraft people. Like, they make machinima and everything, and they are so excited about Landmark because of the machinima, because they can build in things that don't look like just huge blocks, and they can, you know, their creativity is just ready to explode. And I know that for a fact that two of my friends are absolutely ditching Minecraft just to go to play Landmark. So,
or so they say for now.
But then, isn't it? It's almost. It's like the World of Warcraft thing with Minecraft now.
You think?
Because Minecraft, when it first came out, it was like, the environment was totally ready for it, and it became this huge runaway success that now so many games are basing themselves off of. You know, obviously Landmark has been influenced by the success of Minecraft. I doubt a lot of games being made at the moment would have been being made without Minecraft happening. Mm-hmm. So this new game comes along, and everyone goes, "Oh my god, it's amazing! It looks so much better, and we're going to be able to do this, and we're going to be able to do that." And then they get in, and it just doesn't fit right.
You think it's so like
when they
Rift.
get into it, you know, that first time they play it, it's not the same feeling that they had the first time they played Minecraft. And it's not, you know, it's not because it's not a good a game. It's not because the features are different or anything. It's just because it's the nostalgia thing, isn't it? It's like we're always chasing that feeling of being lost in the world and learning and not knowing what was going on, and that kind of sense of excitement, the tingly feeling. And, you know, that's why a lot of people, they go from Warcraft and talk about how much they hate it and they can't wait for the next big thing. And then the next big thing comes out and everyone goes, yay! Oh, back to WoW.
All right, we got 1 minute for 4 questions, so... we got more than 4 questions. We'll have to go
yes, no, pineapple, bacon, and see you later.
All right.
We're wasting time.
Okay, OP1 asked, will Founders Packs be available once Alpha launches and also upgrade afterwards? And Omeed said Founders Packs will be available until shortly before Open Beta launches. So there you go. Famous Adventure says, what are your thoughts on an in-game music system similar to the one in Lord of the Rings online?
I'd love it.
Great. Love
what it is.
Okay. Zubai says, do you think crafting at EverQuest Next will be more elaborate than crafting at EverQuest Next Landmark? Granted, we won't know how in-depth it is in Landmark, but I don't think it will be as close to Star Wars Galaxies.
I imagine it will be different because of the way that we'll be gathering resources in EverQuest Next.
Yep. All right, and then last one's from Krona. Do you think they will add the possibility to place voxels in open world, knowing they'll be healed 20 minutes or so?
This is on Reddit at the moment, isn't it? This is really interesting. I wish we had more time.
Yeah.
I was going to say, is it 15 seconds worth of interesting? Because
no, we started a couple minutes late because of the crash, so you can go a couple minutes if you want. Just go ahead and tell us what you think.
If I remember rightly, the question on Reddit is something about, when we're out in the world, it's kind of been said that we'll be able to build, but the terrain will revert.
Right.
Quite quickly. But the question is, like, during combat and stuff, because we know combat will be in, does that mean, we can just freely build, like, walls and things in front of our enemies to, like, stop them getting to us? It's interesting. I mean, we know that there's going to be weapons and things in Landmark, so we're going to be able to fight, but will that kind of terrain manipulation be, just cranked up to 11, like the way that it's going to be in EverQuest Next, with abilities affecting it because of the nature of Landmark? Will it be that, but times 10?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my short answer.
Okay.
It's an interesting proposition. I think could do a lot with it.
All right, guys. I think that's about it.
Woo.
All right, so real quick, go around the room, Mr. Tobran. Tell us about your channel and all that stuff.
I have a YouTube channel called Tobran Irnwood. I'm a streamer on twitch.tv/Tobran95. I'm a co-host on Party Likes 1999. There's other stuff that I can remember. Follow me on Twitter at Tobran Irnwood. That's it.
Tobran,
follow him on Twitter.
You need a shorter Twitter handle, Tobran, because the problem is
someone has taken Tobran.
I want to put you in
one tweet.
I want to put you in the tweet, like when I tweet stuff out, but Tobran Irnwood is so long, it uses up too many characters, and I can't put you in the tweet. All right, Locke, go ahead.
Hello, I've got a YouTube channel which is LockSixTime. I talk about EverQuest Next and Landmark and stuff, and I'm basically an MLG EverQuest Project 1999 player, and there's videos of that as well if you want to come get some tips. I've started doing streaming stuff. I write a column for a website called Zam.com about EverQuest Next as well, which will be up tomorrow, so you can go check that out on Zam. And I'm around. You'll see me. I do this. It's fun, isn't it? It's a laugh talking about games.
It's great. Trendane.
I heard her.
I know, she's giggling. You've been entertaining her all night long.
Trendane everywhere, just like this.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
That was good, Locke. I like that.
Yeah,
very basic.
Nice.
Thanks, sir.
Okay.
Very kind of you. I tried my best.
And I'm Geekdomo everywhere. I'm doing pretty much daily streams now on Twitch, so follow me over there. I'm on Twitter. I got a couple followers on Twitter, and YouTube, Geekdomo everywhere. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for coming. Thanks, Omeed. Thanks, Eric, for being here. Thanks, Domino. We will see you all very soon, and hopefully maybe next week we will do a show, unless Alpha's released, and then of course we might be sick.
I won't be sick. Well, I might be sick, but I won't be playing. Anyway, so be careless.
Yep. Until next time, see ya!